Hello, this short video is to introduce you to assessments with higher level questions. Massive high-stakes objective final tests of purely factual information are in fact cheaters' playgrounds. This video will help you design exams that demand higher level thinking in ways that make cheating almost impossible. For starters, throughout the semester, use frequent, small, ungraded or low-stakes objective tests on fundamental course knowledge, like this quiz shown here. Toggle the settings so that students can make unlimited attempts on each quiz and offer them significant participation points for completing them. This approach turns the quizzes into regular structured study sessions, which in themselves will bring up student performance considerably. These quizzes will also lay the basic groundwork for asking higher level questions later on. So later on your graded unit assessments and also on midterm exams and your final exam, use only a few select higher order questions to test your students for their sophisticated understanding of the material and for their ability to apply it to real-world concerns. In this example, note the strict word limit, 100 words. This demands that students be very clear and concise in their answers, and it disallows the senseless blathering on that many students do in hopes of scoring a few points. This will greatly reduce the volume of your marking workload. In this question shown here, students must apply their in-depth knowledge of the most important climate change concepts to design a persuasive argument aimed at a challenging audience. We call this approach the strategic sampling method. The strategic sampling method works like this. Notice the first column on the left. These are the key concepts couched in terms taken from a critical theory unit in an education grad class that I teach. Early in the term, these terms form the basis of my ungraded participation quizzes of basic knowledge. In the middle column are higher level thinking processes onto which my students must map their knowledge from column 1. Then in column 3 are scenarios that I dream up to create novel questions that can be easily switched out from unit to unit and from term to term. In this example, students use their knowledge of the concept of genderism and apply it to an interpersonal scenario that I describe in an exam question. For example, imagine that your cousin from rural Saskatchewan has just told her very religious parents that he is gay. His parents don't take it very well at all. Drawing on your knowledge of genderism, what might you say to your aunt and uncle to help them cope in this difficult moment? Questions like this are almost impossible to cheat on, especially if you impose strict time limits on your exam. As you can imagine, the lines I have drawn here could have theoretically crisscrossed the page up to 2,000 times. Of course, some of those combinations won't actually work in practice, but nevertheless, this strategic sampling method gives rise to so many possible combinations that students would find it impossible to predict which combinations will appear on a test, and so they have no real hope of pre-preparing answers. As I said, with regards to students sharing their ideas during the exam, strict time limits will prevent them from having the time to engage in those kinds of conversations.
For more information and detailed tips on how to assess with higher level questions, go to this page in the guide and click on the higher level questions option as indicated by the arrow. You can reach that page by clicking on the link in the YouTube description of this video. This video was brought to you by Flexible Learning's Remote Learning Team. We are here to help.